Wish is Disney's 62nd animated film in 86 years. They started in 1937 with hand-drawn Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, and there have been a hell of a lot of good movies since then. But Wish is only the 14th of Disney's 3D animated films, and it's been a bit of a bumpy ride since the big mouse added that third dimension. Tangled was energetic, Frozen a mega success that's gifted parents the world over screeching versions of Let It Go for over a decade now, but for every 3D success there's been a Frozen 2 or an Encanto. Not atrocious, but nothing special either. I'm afraid to say that their new film, Wish, sits at the bottom end of this list. It's a movie with a few big positives, one or two things in the middle, and pretty much everything else as forgettable as a telemarketer's sales pitch. It tells the story of 17-year-old Asha, played by Ariana DeBose, who lives in the kingdom of Rosa, an island in the Mediterranean Sea. The king of Rosa, the modestly named Magnifico, played by everybody's favourite Captain Kirk Chris Pine, is a bit of a magical whiz and has worked out how to grant the life wishes of his subjects. The only cost is that their dreams must be sealed away, only to surface again when they're ready to be granted. While interviewing to be Magnifico's new apprentice, Asha comes to understand that the king never really intends to grant all of the wishes, seeing some as threatening to his power. Slightly miffed by this, she decides to take matters into her own hands and retrieve her family's wishes, meeting an anthropomorphic star and other friends on the way. But when Magnifico finds out about her plan, he sets in motion one of his own, one that threatens the delicate balance of the kingdom. Can Asha inspire her fellow people to take their fates into their own hands, or will Magnifico see his wish for more power granted? The art boffins at Disney have a new animation style for Wish, and I have to say I think it's a big improvement over recent movies like Frozen and Moana. The change is subtle, as you can probably see from the images. It's like a melding of the old hand-drawn animation style and the newer 3D. But it's so evocative of the older films we all remember from our childhood. For me, that's Aladdin, The Lion King and Beauty and the Beast, and it helps to sell the fantasy story being told here. Recently, Disney Animation and Pixar have been sailing so close to each other animation-wise that it's hard to tell them apart. This new look from Disney goes a long way towards resolving that. The composition is wonderful as well. In fact, I'd go as far as to say this is some of the best cinematography, is that the right word for an animated movie, I've seen in a Disney film in a long time. You could pause the action at any point and you'd be left with something gorgeous, something you could print out and hang in a frame on your wall. The colours are so carefully chosen to work with each other, and the overall effect is truly beautiful. The kind of thing that might go over the head of a child, but makes a film like this easier to watch for the 80th time for an adult. Unfortunately, the care put into the art style isn't matched by the attention given to the fantasy world itself, which is as generic as a white wall in a hospital waiting room. There's just so little imagination given to trying to make the story world unique. Rolling green hills? Check. Grand castle? Check. Lavish twinkling magical effects? Check. We've seen it all before a million times and it's pretty yawn-inducing here, even if the new animation style does its best. The script is sharp enough on a surface level, moving along at a brisk pace. There are some jokes, they land flat for the most part. Problems abound with character motivations though. Even the protagonist, Asha, who you'd imagine would have had more thought put into her, changes her entire tone in an instant without any real provocation. It's a great example of letting plot lead character rather than character lead plot. Speaking of characters, Wish is very hit and miss there too. Asha's likeable enough, which is of course vitally important in a children's story. She's proactive, goes after her goals. Magnifico is suitably moustache twizzling, although sometimes you wonder how he goes from being a stand-up chap to someone whose eyebrows are angled so far down in his evil frown that they run the risk of falling off his head. By far the weakest character though is Alan Tudyk's little goat companion Valentino, who I really didn't find funny at all. We've had some great animal companions in Disney films over the years. Abu from Aladdin, Timon and Pumbaa. Valentino's definitely not one of them. There are also too many songs in Wish. They're not bad songs, like usual, they're catchy enough. It's just that at times the story couldn't even develop for more than about 5 minutes without being interrupted by everyone breaking into a song and dance. There's no reason why that couldn't work, in theory, but it wasn't done well enough here to hold attention. This overstuffing of music feeds into another issue with Wish, which is its length. At apparently only 1 hour and 29 minutes long, it's the shortest Disney movie in a while, and I think maybe the story could have done with a little more time to breathe. Everything's so hurried, so frantic, that elements of the plot which could have been drawn out a bit and explored more just aren't. All of this is a bit of a shame really, because the idea at the heart of Wish is a good one. It reminds me of the kind of thing Pixar would have come up with in its 2000 to 2010 prime. They'd likely have done a lot better job with the idea too, focusing more on the themes of fate and desire and the idea that one should not wait around for their life's wish to come true, but to go out and make it happen. It's worth pointing out here that I'm not anti-Disney animation in any way, shape or form. In fact, I have a bit of a soft spot for them, which you'll probably have been able to tell by reading between the lines of this review. Which makes it all the more disappointing that Wish is so average. Disney are master storytellers at their best. There's a reason we show their films to our kids over and over again. But every now and then there's a miss. Wish, I'm afraid, is one of them. Anyway, nothing more to say. This is Movie Maverick, signing out.